Hi friends, and welcome back to the second Talk Play podcast. I'm Naz Dragonars, and joining me once again, he's a perfect man from the 1800s, it's the flawless Cowboy.
I was there and it was good. How you doing?
Good.
How you doing, everybody?
And of course, he's the original stealth bastard. It's Fox.
Stealth bastard. I like it.
That's a sweet game.
Yeah.
Stealth bastard.
I play Stealth Bastard. What's that?
It's a legit thing, isn't it? I haven't actually played it, but was it on Steam?
Steam and Xbox. Well, I don't think it's going on Xbox. I think that's going to roll quite nicely into our first feature, talking about Xbox's U-turn again. Oh god, why do we keep going through this with them?
It's an Xbox 360, man. If they turn around, they've got to turn back again. It's 360.
I'm turning this Xbox around! Come on! Let's kick off with the indie stuff then, I guess, given it's like that. As you all know, from E3, whatever, Sony came out and said, we love indies. Look at all these indies they've got. And they got loads of indies. They got Octodad, they got Abe's Odyssey,
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones?
He's an indie.
Yeah, he was there. He was there throwing his tat.
Fucking Oasis.
So there was all that, and Xbox really didn't talk about it. The idea was, at the time they were talking about it, they had to have a publishing partner, indies, so they could put their games out.
Would that be like a professional indie partner, like getting
a big name?
So you're not very likely Joe Smith sitting at home going, "Oh, I could build my own Candy Crush Saga or whatever." You actually need to get proper investment from a legit company.
Which kind of defeats the. You can have an indie game on our thing, but a small amount of corporate sponsorship.
Like, you can be independent, but only if you're collaborating with someone.
But only if you're with us.
But yeah, there was that. And then they've turned around this week, and they've said, every Xbox unit that goes out, that's a dev unit, basically. You can develop for that.
Yeah.
Like on an iPhone or an iPad. You can develop games on that. They'll put out tools and stuff like that later and all that. And that's great. They all love that. Except they don't love that as well, because they're kind of like, what's the catch? It's like some kind of shady, like, Iranian salesman. You can do anything on Xbox One. You can have games. You can make the games on the Xbox. It's no worries. What are you trying to sell on the Xbox?
I guess they deal with the Ouya, or however you pronounce that ridiculous mashup of syllables. The Ouya, the PS4. I guess Xbox kind of went, oh shit, everyone else is doing it. I guess once again they've had their arms twisted until they've kind of gone.
That's the thing. They're constantly like reacting to everyone else's like. Oh, we're Xbox One. We've got this. Well, we're PlayStation or whatever, and we've got this. Oh yeah, us too.
They're like that kid at school who just wants to be loved and just blend in. I got that too. No, you don't, Xbox.
Like, I can do around the world with a yo-yo as well.
Just quickly, she brought the Ouya. This is a bit of information that's come from the top of my head. They came out with stats the other day saying 73% of them hadn't even bought a game for it.
Yeah.
And they said, our demo content is so strong. It's like, no, it means 73% of your people have bought the machine and not got games with it. Defeats the fucking point of that machine.
Well, I think the whole point of it was that you could build your own games on it. So, as what I thought when I read that, I mean, I've got no backup for this. What I imagined was they bought the console, they spent all their time building their own shit and not bothered to buy anybody else's.
Right.
Well, that's it.
I mean, it's a £100 console. I mean, it was a tiny little. Was it a?
The controller was bigger than the machine.
Yeah.
The machine's like that, and the control's like that.
It was like a cheap little fun thing. I don't think they wanted to make a shitload of money on it.
I wanted that to be like Little Big Planet. I wanted people to build amazing, mind-blowing games on it, and it's become like the Wii U, except without the Wii U punch. Oh god! Can we just quickly gloss over this? I have a Wii U. I'm being constantly heartbroken day in day out by the lack of stuff on there, and the number. It's the only console out there with people turning it away. People are going up to that. We're not developing for that machine. Bethesda came out this week and said we're not developing for that machine.
Yeah, I heard that they were sort of like, yeah, nothing wrong with the Wii U. Nothing wrong, just not for us. not our.
There must be something really wrong there. And like they're saying, potentially we're going to make a lot of money here. We will make a game, we'll spend a bit of time and money converting it to be able to play with the specific Wii U control set or whatever, but we've got the game. All we really have to do is spend a couple of weeks, change all the controls over to work, and potentially we're going to make a lot of money. Except that they don't want to do that. They must be seeing something or know something that we don't, in that they don't want to bother investing a couple of weeks in order to potentially make a bit of cash.
But it's so mad because you got like these second screen things, like you can use your iPad with the Division or whatever. It's like, that's great. and the Wii U comes with that pad, and they just like, yeah, can't be bothered with that now. We've moved on. No, it's here. It's here now. Develop something for it.
And it's specifically for that function. It's really strange. Yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe it's. I mean, if you're a serious gamer and you're buying games from like Professor and stuff, you're going to own one of the big two. You're going to own, or the big three rather. You're going to be a PC player or Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
You're not going to wait for a game to come out on the Wii to play it. Little kids are quite happy with like Mario Party 85 or whatever. You know, I mean,
it's probably close to that. To be fair, I'm not going to make a joke there.
Yeah, it's.
And there is a bit of a weird delay on it. Like, you could go, oh, like the Batman Arkham Asylum. I know all three of us have played that game to death. Like, I mean, all of us are still playing it now. I think, like a year on. I mean, it's been out. It must have been at least a year.
I was playing Arkham City before you guys came around.
Yeah. And then it came out on the Wii U a couple of months back, and I'm like, who's going to have gone, I'm really looking forward to this game, it's going to be brilliant. However, I really want it on my Wii U, so rather than getting it, I'm going to wait 6 or 7 months and pay the same price for it just on a different console.
Maybe it's too much work. They promised a copy of that Colonial Marines on the Wii. Obviously, it panned on everything else, and they kept delaying it to come out on the Wii. And eventually, they just turned around and they were like,
"Could you imagine how bad that would have been? How messed up that would have been? Oh god!"
But then maybe it would have been great. Maybe if it would have, maybe it would have been more.
Don't say that with a smile on your face. Don't say that with a smile on your face.
Oh, I can't help but mention Colonial Marines without a smile on my face. But you know, maybe it's just easier to develop a game on those consoles that are built to be proper gaming consoles, not
you don't have to
family
worry
friendly.
about motion controls and touch controls and stuff. You've just got your 4 buttons and your D-pad.
I don't know. Nintendo's always been odd and shady in that kind of sense of the word, but
maybe it's just difficult for us as outsiders because it's a very, very Japanese thing. Like the Nintendo is pretty much like it's Japan's console that we are, inverted commas, lucky enough to get over here, and maybe it's just one of those things.
The overlords of Nintendo was like, Japan, you love us all, and the rest of the world, we gift you these things, and how dare you turn on...
Lucky Gaijin!
The Iranian man's moved off to Nintendo. He's in charge of Nintendo now.
But Nintendo are just as bad as well at turning around on policies like the 360.
I got a mad policy, man, about the minute about indies in Japan. They won't let them do it.
Just won't let it happen.
Not with Japan. I don't know why.
They had a thing recently with their region thing. It kicked off majorly. And it was within 12 hours that they made the initial announcement.
Is it to do with the Virtual Console and the 50 and 60 hertz frame issues? Because they released, I think, a balloon hunt. A balloon light or whatever it is. And you're on a balloon and it's like, oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. The version we got was the 50 hertz version. It was released over here, and the version they got in the US, the 60 hertz version. And it seemed kind of pointless. They released the 60 hertz version over there and not over here.
I think it had something to do with, don't take this set in stone, but I think it had something to do with the policy they have on the region thing. Like the new next gen consoles aren't going to be like regional specific, are they?
Yeah, no. Luckily, I can order and get stuff from Japan, America, or wherever.
But Nintendo turned around and said, "Yeah, we're keeping it region locked. Why wouldn't we?" And within 12 hours, they had that many people bitch and moan and complain at them. Within 12 hours, they completely changed their policy on it. They did complete UE.
Again, it might just be Japan short-sightedness and going, I don't think anyone in Japan's going to want to order any American or English games, and I can't imagine it being a problem. And then all of a sudden, all of us over here were like, whoa, you know, we want to get some Jap or American games in, and they're like, okay, fair enough, we didn't realise it could be...
Well, we miss out on a lot. It's quite often I'll be talking to someone about some games.
That's really good, actually. You'll like this, Fox. There's a good RPG out in Japan at the minute called Bravely Forward or something like that. It's been done by Square, and it's basically kind of like Final Fantasy in that traditional Final Fantasy sense, not in the it's massive and big and it looks beautiful and you can only go in one direction type deal. It's like a proper
open world thingy,
proper game, and it's doing amazingly well over there. They've got no plans to release over here.
It's strange. I often talk to someone about some games I really enjoyed, and they'll say, "Oh, well, did you ever play X, Y, or Z version of it?" And I'll be like, no. It's like, "Oh, what about the sequel or the original one or something?" And I'll say, "No, I've got no knowledge of that." It's like, "Oh, it was released in Japan." And one, it's like, well, why wasn't it released over here? And two, how the hell do you know about it then?
I'm a bit of a Japanophile. I get a lot of stuff ordered from over there as well. But it's a bit of a niche thing.
If you don't know...
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you don't know... So I'll come to that later. We'll come to a topic later on. We talk about games that have made quite a big impact. And luckily... It's quite a niche Japanese thing that I've been lucky enough for them to give a European release. Nippon Ichi Software, those guys are pretty awesome, and they've brought it over here. I'll talk about that later. But what you were saying about not letting the Japanese public build their own indie stuff, from a kind of really clouded and probably a bit not very fair point of view, I have a feeling that's probably because a lot of them over there go, I'm going to design my own game, and it's almost certainly going to involve raping Japanese high school girls with tentacles. I just I have a very, very limited knowledge, but from a lot of the stuff I'm aware of, that's kind of thing that a lot of the indie games tend to be online.
Right. Well, I was going to go into Forza and the day one download bullshit, but fuck it. Fox, I believe you have some news.
That's some people to go think. Yeah, okay, well the news I've got coming at us is the Borderlands DLC has been announced. When the third big DLC campaign pack thing came out for Borderlands 2, the Big Game Hunt, Professor Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, it was called, that didn't do very well. It was generally agreed that was the weakest of all the DLCs they'd ever done, and Gearbox had kind of gone, oh, well, it didn't sell very well, we've done alright, we'll probably get to the end of the season pass and we'll call it at that. And then they announced Tiny Tina's Bunks and Badasses, whatever it's called, Assault on Dragon Keep. And we rambled on this for quite a long time last week, but it was generally agreed it's fucking brilliant.
Best one.
A lot of people have gone, best bit of DLC ever, pretty much. Randy Pitchford, being the total dude that he is, has gone, oh, fair enough, we're still in the game, people are still interested, we're going to announce a load more DLC. They're not going to do it as a season pass, which I think's a shame, because I got the first season pass, so when the new stuff was coming out, I didn't have to pay for it. It's like I'd already cashed in that check. I could download the games when they came out, but, whatever. They're going to do more DLC, that's fair enough. I don't know if they're going to do any more characters, but they said they're going to do a Vault Hunter upgrade pack. They're going to put the level cap up to 72. I think that's like another 11 levels up or something, which is fucking brilliant.
Christ, it's going to take years to get up.
I'll be dead.
Yeah,
I'll be dead.
I'll be getting Logan to do it for me.
Can't imagine they're going to do a fourth playthrough, because I think Ultimate Vault Hunter's pretty much as far as they can take that. No one really wants to play through the campaign for a fourth time, but they're doing a load of stuff. A Digistruct Peak challenge by Tannis, who's one of my favourite characters anyway. And she's going to be arranging, I don't really know how it's going to work, but there going to be a load of new challenges in there that you can keep ranking up, get better loot as you keep going. They've announced, I don't think it's going to be part of the next DLC pack, but they've said in some way or another TK Baha from the first game's coming back as a zombie.
Isn't he dead?
Yeah. They killed...
What am I going to say? Of course he's dead. You said he's a zombie.
He's coming back as a zombie, which I think is brilliant, because he was a wicked character. Yeah, so that's pretty much my Borderlands news. I couldn't be more stoked for that, because I think between the three of us, we've easily racked up a couple hundred of hours on that.
Yeah, how much is that? About a couple of quid, is it? That Digistruct pack? It's like with the level and the Tannis stuff.
It's about $5. I don't know how much that's going to be in Microsoft
6
points.
or 7, 400 maybe. They're not doing the Microsoft points anymore, though, are they? They're converting it slowly.
Oh, well, $5 would be about £3.80, I think, but...
You'd like to think so, but the way they convert it is a bit weird. I'm still working out the kinks in the beta. It's not an interesting story. A lot of people in the beta were pissed off about it. Rightly so, to be fair, but...
what can you do?
I can't.
It's not the worst thing that Microsoft have done in the last 3 months.
No.
I would like to point out, we do keep coming back to ripping on Microsoft, but I've always been, since the 360, a bit of an Xbox.
We are playing it.
Fanboys.
We are playing it.
I'm still playing on my 360 side. I don't hate them that much.
It gets a lot more playtime than my PS3 does at the minute. So yeah, we keep ripping on the 360, but it gets more use than anything else in my house, I think.
We keep ripping on them because you keep listening to people, and it's like, well, why would you do that when you could have done that beforehand? And it's like, make up your minds, people. We're just trying to please you. You're right. I suppose we should talk about it. It's the most talked about thing in the world right now. It's Grand Theft Auto 5. Have we seen the trailer?
Yes.
Totes.
Right.
Looks
Totes.
awesome. You said totes.
I said totes again.
He's getting his tote bag out.
You should probably not say totes anymore.
I should probably not, but I probably will.
Right. That's all we're going to talk about that, because quite frankly, that's already been decided. Everybody in the world is going to get that game. It's going to be amazing, and we're going to have a massive special on it, no doubt, come October, when you've had a good go at it and played it.
Yeah!
We'll be like, it's so good. We're exhausted.
We'll play it for like a year, then we'll say, oh, let's play on Red Dead or something, and go, what is this, the Dark Ages? How clunky is this?
Something I would prefer to talk about is Agent. Agent's come out with hiding slightly. They put in some new trademarks filed.
What is
particularly
that?
about
What is that?
the
What is
logo.
Agent?
It was like Sony had like a bit of a battering during the 2009 E3, and they had to come out with something. So they came out with, Rockstar making an exclusive game for PS3, and here's the logo. And the logo's like Agent, and there's a gun with the G is like cut out as a silhouette.
Whoa!
And it was like, shit, man, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be like the James Bond simulator. Oh, when Rockstar are doing it, it's gonna be amazing. And there was nothing to it. There was no footage.
That was it.
They just showed the slide.
Here's a nice logo.
Yeah, but
It's a nice logo they spent designing.
I'm sold. When's this coming out? I want it
Hang
now.
on, 2009. Is this going to be another Duke Nukem where we wait an eternity for something to come out and it turns out to be a little bit pants?
Nah, this is Sony jumping the gun. They split their load, as it were, to get dirty with it.
I just realised that's another thing where Gearbox really let everybody down. So that Duke Nukem was Gearbox as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we don't like to talk about it.
I know, I feel really bad because, again, Borderlands is like one of the things that we do, and yet it's at Colonial Marines, Duke Nukem, they seem to like go
Any
between...
game that gets 10 years of development we don't talk about.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Agent. So what have they actually announced now?
Well, just the trademarks, really. That's about it. It's just the fact that filed trademarks. It's like, so it's still alive. So it means they're going to do something after GTA 5. It's going to be this. It's going to be a good game.
They've said though that they want to work on Red Dead Redemption 2.
That would be awesome.
They've
If they can bounce between the two, but it's... I don't know.
You never know.
But then they've got so many companies that got like Rockstar North and blah blah blah. They can have different places working on different things and stuff.
From what I read the other day, there are currently 3 different Assassin's Creed games in production right now, and I'm like,
that's sickening.
yeah, it kind of makes my stomach turn. I mean, they're great games and all, I guess. I kind of played them for a bit. Not really for me, but I can see why people enjoy them. But the idea that that has clearly become now about the money, not about making a good game. If they've got one company making 3 games at the same time, it's clearly stopped becoming about making a good game and start becoming a conglomerate or a franchise as quick as possible.
Oh, but you'll be getting forward, the hashtag fucking Pirates Baby edition. Fucking Pirates Baby! Rockstar will never get to that point. They make too much money for 2K.
They do everything at their own pace. They do what they want.
They never go to E3. They never do anything that they're forced to do. They're always sort of like, we'll do what they want to, because the people will want it.
Yeah.
It is like Field of Dreams to them. Every game is like Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come.
They do everything with such brilliance. Yeah, it's brilliant. Like Rockstar Table Tennis. It shouldn't be a game that I enjoyed.
Yeah,
it's not
ping pong. What the? Oh, this is great.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, okay. Oh, it's Rockstar, right? Why have they done a table tennis? Oh, this is cool. Hey, look how their shirts move when they're jumping up. That's really cool. There's always something. There's some catch that I wasn't sold entirely on the fact that shirts moved fluidly while they were playing. But
you noticed it. And how many games can you say, I noticed how the clothes moved on that? What? Fuck off.
Yeah. No, it was a really fun game.
All right then. Any other news?
Yeah. There's Disney have gone batshit crazy on their retro remakes.
Oh, they ain't.
They have. We all know about the DuckTales being remastered.
Yeah.
Looking really good.
It's gonna be a good month, that one.
I think are a couple of new level parts that they're putting into it. Oh no, sorry, that's a mistake. That's something else. But I'll get to that.
Well, aren't they putting some boss levels in DuckTales though, like some extra?
Yeah,
bits?
something
they
like
showed
that.
off the Himalayas level, and they showed, it looks all familiar and very nice and stuff. I mean, they showed, what's Scrooge's enemy? The other Scottish duck. You see him climbing up the totes in the DuckTales title sequence.
Probably Cocktails McDuck or something.
Hamish McDuck.
Hamish McDuck.
So Hamish
Bastard
McDuck. Bastard McDuck. Scrooge climbing the thing. Josh get the thing, and he was doing like a biplane battle with him.
Oh wow, good.
And then Scrooge on the top go whoop with his cane.
I hope this turns out good, because a lot of stuff that like nostalgia makes it seem great. Everyone always goes, and mostly people who haven't played it in 10 years, do you remember how great GoldenEye was? Wasn't GoldenEye a fucking good game? And I was one of those people. I'm not saying that I've never done this. And then not too long ago, you and I busted out the old N60, couple of controllers, and after 30 seconds went, fuck me, this is abysmal.
It was worse than abysmal. My hands fucking killed. I forgot how much you have to push the controller forward.
At the time,
I'm literally trying to put the controller in the TV.
But the stuff you just don't want to do anymore. And I have a weird feeling that platform games, not all platform games, I mean, there's still a place for that in this day and age, but I've just got a feeling we're going to go back and go, I remember this, that's clever, and I'm all bored already because it's a platform game and I haven't played a good platform game in 8 or 9 years.
There's some really good. Is it Shadow the Ninja or something? It was an indie game came out. Well, it wasn't indie. It was an Xbox Live arcade game.
Mark Ninja.
Mark Ninja, so good, such a good platform game. Not like just side scrolling, but using the environment. You're climbing up into vents and stuff, and it's all done in a really.
Was that Shadow Complex actually?
No, Mark the Ninja was
Mark the Ninja.
But Shadow Complex also.
Super Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy is like an old school game, but like.
Platformers translate well.
I suppose it depends how good the quality is, and if
it looks really good. It sounds really good.
DuckTales are great. It played well anyway. To be honest, it was a very fun game to play. I don't ever remember having any of those moments where I was like, "I said jump, you bastard, jump!"
Yeah, I get a lot of that with old
so famous though because of the moon. Because the music on the moon is like legend.
Yeah,
it is the stuff of dream. It's like remixed to death, and it's not unwarranted. That music's amazing. But it did get its fame from that. It was still a competent platformer though, and I do think it's going to be really, really good.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's coming out on PS3, Xbox Live Arcade, the Wii U, and Steam. So everyone gets to have a little go with.
I'm going to get it on Wii U because I've got no games for it.
That's something you can play.
yeah, but it'll be a fun game to get achievements on. Oh, think of all the achievements you could earn.
No.
Is there any kind of achievement system on the Wii at all? Because I know I get that PS4, I don't want to say robbed it, but they took the idea, and justly so. I mean, nothing makes me want to play Hitman more than going back and getting those trophies. But it seems weird that Nintendo haven't done the same thing and gone, oh, this kind of reward system really makes people want to go back and 100% stuff.
No, because they do their games right. They have the rewards in their game. You said Disney gone crazy, so what else have Disney been doing to us?
I said
doing to us in particular.
What have you done to me, Disney? You want to be a star, don't you? They've announced a HD remake of Castle of Illusion.
Oh, the best Mickey game ever.
Fantastic Mickey game. Lots of fun. Just as playable as DuckTales. I think everyone I know who has played it really enjoyed it, and it's a funny thing when you think of Disney games and you think Disney making a game, and then you think actually Disney have done some really solid games. I was getting DuckTales mixed up with this, but they are releasing a few new levels for it.
Ah, okay.
And that could be a bit frightening, but it's all under the supervision of the original director, so
sweet.
That makes a big difference. I mean, it might not even make any difference to the actual game, but it's quite a selling point in saying, you know what, you don't need to worry, guys, because this is done by the original director.
Yeah, it was like everyone's un-game related, but everyone's bitching about the new Evil Dead. It's the same like production companies written by the same people, so what's
it's the same film, really, isn't it? For all intents and purposes,
it's
the story.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the siblings are the other way.
Yeah.
They're switched round and they've taken bits from the second one and put it in the first one, but yeah, essentially it's a Cabin in the Woods film. But yeah, people bitch and moan about remakes of things sometimes a little bit too much.
There we go.
But really looking forward to Castle of Illusion. It really looks a lot of fun.
Yes, it's gonna be good.
Looking really, really sharp.
I don't think I've ever played Castle of Illusion. I played World of Illusion, the Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse game on the Sega Mega Drive.
It's the same, except better because of Mickey on his own.
You can't dick over the person you're playing with.
To be fair, I always love Donald Duck. He's just such an angry son of a bitch.
Man after my own heart.
Yeah.
Or duck after my own heart.
There is a game that people are really going to be excited about.
All right.
Mega Man.
Hey?
Mega Man.
Mega Man?
Unfortunately.
I thought Mega Man was dead.
Unfortunately, it's a board game.
A board game?
Mega
Man board game?
Yeah.
Is it going to be so difficult you want to plough your face into the table?
You can't get past the first 4 squares.
It's like the first 6 squares all say move back 2 spaces when you roll a 6-sided dice. No matter what you fucking do, you're going back to the start.
Take a Mega Man card. Oh, I've taken a Mega Man card. Oh, it says put it back in the box.
Put this game back in the cupboard and walk away.
But yeah, there's loads of excitement about Mega Man images. Are they going to do a Mega Man game? What? But they're doing a Striker game, so everything's fine.
Strider. Strider's good.
I said Striker. I didn't mean to.
It's alright. Strider, who was asking for that game?
Me about 15 years ago.
I'm saying no one's asking for Strider.
People who play...
No one's going, where's Strider at? I want Strider
It's
again.
people that bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and went, okay, so who's that then?
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
He looks quite cool. Someone's dog?
I can imagine there's
I like
someone
that.
at Capcom like monitoring the stats of the most used players and like, Strider's doing well, maybe we bring him back.
This episode Ryu and Ken, Strider's in here. Coming in.
But Capcom's so, like, weird and, like, self-indulgent.
Oh, massively.
They're
but
like-
sometimes that comes off for them, like Bionic Commando. Bionic Commando Real is one of the best 2D titles I've ever played. Because it was just... The visuals in it looked amazing, the gameplay was brilliant. It's amazing what taking away the jump does for you.
Well, yeah.
And they mastered that, the idea of giving you something a bit different, a bit new. Which is why Dead Rising is a bit
That's a
disappointing.
2D flat-on platform where you can't jump.
Dead Rising has constant, like, other Capcom references that, like, most people
Outside of Japan.
don't know. Like, Ghosts and Goblins ones, that, like, is a fun game.
You get a
And
Mega
lot-
Man cannon.
You get the Mega Man suit, like, the
Yeah.
whole thing. It's got the underpants parts, which is the Ghosts and Goblins thing. It's got lots of things like that, and it's like, well, yeah, not everyone's going to get that. I suppose it's nice for people that... I mean, I got it, but I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Ghosts
some
and
games
Goblins,
where you see them make a reference, like, see what they did there, that's clever.
like, you spot a box in Assassin's Creed, and you go, yeah, I wonder what that's about. So someone hiding under that box? It's a familiar face. We might. Yeah. Just a
Sorry, I couldn't get past the wall of feathers. Collect 100 feathers in this area. Why?
Do you know what I would do if I
Bugger
was
off.
Altair or whoever from the first game?
I'd just find a pigeon and pluck his fucking feathers off.
Exactly. Every time you climb to the top of a high tower that you can jump off, some bird or pigeon or fucking turkey goes whee and flies off. Shoot that, pluck it, 100 feathers, done.
Yeah, you can just get a pillow. There'll be shitloads of feathers in it. It's done. It's already done. You've got a little blade. Just open a pillow. You don't even need to take the pillow with you. Just open it. Grab a handful.
God almighty, we've gone into bird genocide now. Right, we're going to call it time there then. And before Cowboy goes off and kills everyone.
Before I get strangled by my own veins.
Oh God almighty, right, we're going to
Wasn't
take a
it?
break, and when we come back we'll be doing our look at the latest games that are going to be coming out next month. Alright then, welcome back. Now we're talking about the games that are going to be coming out next month in our feature that we're calling Pick and Miss. Huh?
Ooh, I get it. Which games am I going to pick?
Which games are you going to pick, which games are you going to miss? Oh, it's like a mixed bag. It's like in Wars. You just got to get... just pack it close to the door.
What's a Woolworths?
It says everybody under the age of 10. Right, let's have a look what's coming up. First of all, I suppose we should talk about DuckTales. We've just been talking about DuckTales. Who's in?
Me.
I'm definitely in.
Sold.
I guess. I'll give it a whack.
You guess?
I didn't really play the original, so I'll give it a whack. Everyone's talking about it, but
Play it with us, and then see if it tickles your pickles.
yeah.
Is it multiplayer? It's not multiplayer.
Yeah, I'll come over and watch.
Just
watch
come
you
over
play.
and
yeah.
have a bash, like, because
come on,
it's a game you can just like pick up. No, I don't want to play it halfway through because it will ruin the story.
Yeah, it's none of that. The story's pretty... It's Scrooge going after his gold.
Yeah,
Or some gold.
going,
And he gets money. And that's good.
and he will probably swim in it.
And he'll probably swim. But yeah, I'm in for that. I'm in for that for the Wii U because I need more games. I've said this 4 times now already, haven't I? But the Wii U, please Nintendo, put more games out. This is a heartfelt plea from Naz Redheart to you. I just want more games, mate. Just it ain't hard. Just a couple. Just a couple.
I'm alright actually, Nintendo. Fox says you can just leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Please help me, Nintendo. Stop it from getting dusty.
For 2 games a month, you can be happy. Rightio then. Next up, Diablo. That's coming now to PS3 and Xbox 360.
Is that next month?
That is next month.
I am 100% behind that. That will be the best multiplayer experience that we're going to have since probably Borderlands 2 came out.
Cowboy?
It's not something I know a great deal about. Looks fun. From what you've told me and what other people have told me. Top-down RPG, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a bit like Borderlands, the loot system and the killing system and stuff, except it's top-down, it's more fantasy Dungeons and Dragons kind of
It
thing.
uses the Dungeons and Dragons world, doesn't it? That sort of stuff. Is it set in...
It's different,
nothing to do with,
franchise, but it's the same kind of thing, like monsters and demons and stuff, and you've got a warrior and an archer and a magician and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, generally pretty much well received when it came out on the PC a year or so ago. I reckon we'll have a great time with that.
I am going to be out because I've got Torchlight 2 on PC, and that's fucking ace.
Yeah, but Torchlight 2, only you and I have that. We don't know anyone else that plays PC. Diablo 3, if you get in on that, I get in on that. 4 or 5 of us playing it.
Right, Saints Row 4.
Yeah, I'm all over Saints Row 4.
Really?
I'll have a go on that, but I probably won't pick it up on release. I'll probably wait till it's like down to 10, 15 quid, which it will be after a few months.
Yeah, I think so. It's.
I'm not convinced that'll drop down that low.
I'm saying through the
I'm
30.
not
I
even
think like a
convinced-
month and a half in, it was down to like sort of 10, 15 quid.
I'm pretty certain until GTA comes out, that won't drop.
I don't think it's Violation doing it again. I think it's a different guy, a different set of guys doing
it's the same team that's doing it, but the people who are releasing it are the people behind Dead Island. They're publishing it. No, they're not designing it. They're
Okay.
only publishing it.
Okay.
Because when GHQ exploded and like killed everybody, you remember when the world ended when GHQ exploded?
When all the shrapnel went flying around and everyone had to collect the games like Magic Dragon Ball.
That's not the thing you want, but
No,
yeah,
it's not.
no, it's not. Well, they got that, so they got to publish that basically.
That's fair enough. I mean, it was a semi-completed game, wasn't it? So
Yeah, that's it. It was
they
completely.
kind of-
It's got an audience. You guys played it. You guys enjoyed it.
Saints Row 3 had some quite interesting areas, like the big reactor, and there was that one alleyway that had all the sex shops and stuff. This all looks really droll.
So you're basically saying your one criticism of the minute is that the fact it just looks a bit meh, a bit dull.
It looks like they've built around. Well, I suppose to a degree they have. It was supposed to be DLC, wasn't it? And they
Well, it
decided to
started
make-
a bit of it started out as DLC and they expanded it.
Looks like they've focused more on the idea of it, like the jumping, like super stuff, throwing cars, the dubstep guns, and all that's probably going to make up for it. But it looks very lackluster.
Yeah, it reminds me very much of Crackdown 2, which seems
Oh,
it
yeah.
almost seems the same game, and that was equally dull and drab and brown and grey, and that was about it. But it was so much fun. Crackdown 2 was almost exactly the same as the plot for this, a lot less wacky and sort of adult themed. But you were a guy, and the more you did stuff, the better at it you got.
I nearly picked that up today, Crackdown 2.
Oh.
£7.
You should, man. 'Cause have you still got your copy of Crackdown 2? I think I still got mine. We'd have
No, it was probably
we'd have
yours.
so much fun with that. The three of us.
Still there, gathering dust.
I think we'd have so much fun, the three of us running around, jumping over cities and putting mag
Is
grenades
it
on
free
each
play?
other. And I think you can have 4 people in it at once, collecting the. I mean, I was just
Yeah, it's
collecting the orbs.
4-player multiplayer.
Yeah,
I'd love.
if you do pick up a copy, we should definitely get on that. 'Cause I think we'd have so much fun, just like picking up trucks and throwing them at each other, or remember those magnet grenades? I'd stick one to you and stick one to the other side, like
That's
a
ace.
top of a skyscraper, just catapult you across the city. Had a great old time with that. But yeah, that was the same kind of thing.
Let's stop there because we've got to talk about the biggest game coming out.
Ooh.
It's Disney Infinity.
Disney Infinity looks really cool.
Yeah.
It looks
No.
really, really cool.
It's something that you'll probably get into when your little one can ask for money for things.
Yeah. No, I think it looked. I watched a trailer for it recently. I think we were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's got some weird starter pack people, as we said, but generally, I think it looks a lot of fun. I like the making your own games, like
Yeah, the big
that sort of stuff. I like that.
sandbox or whatever.
Yeah, the toy box thing will
box.
set itself apart from, per se, Skylanders. It'll be a big playground. You can go, oh, let's have a lovely jaunty time.
Yeah, it looks light-hearted and fun.
Right.
It seems a bit weird that they've got a Disney game, so they've got access to all of the Disney licenses, which is great. And you think, okay, guys, Disney game where you can buy the toys and they appear in the game, brilliant marketing thing. It seems weird the characters they've announced the game with. You've got like Jack Sparrow, you've got the Incredibles, you've got almost entirely just the is it DreamWorks or
Pixar.
or the Pixar
stuff.
guys. And you think Disney game marketed to kids, the first thing you'd have on there would be Aladdin, The Lion King, and
Not many of them know.
It wouldn't
Aladdin
be
now, though.
because
That's
those
the problem.
classic drawn ones are us.
yeah, actually, I hadn't even considered that. I suppose the things that we think of as Disney are quite old hat now, I guess.
Yeah, we come from an era where Disney was hand drawn. It was beautiful. It had an artistic style to it. Not for the same that the new ones don't. I mean, I love Finding Nemo.
I lost my shit when I watched the start of Up.
Yeah, that's the
I
most
was
It's like
depressing
the
kids film I've ever
saddest
seen.
thing I've ever seen ever. It was great.
But that's it. It's kind of moved along with that. Those simple stories we used to get, all based on folk tales and laws, have changed now. They've almost gone. There's
Well,
still a
I suppose
couple.
they run
like
out of-
Tangled.
I haven't seen Tangled. They look cool
Oh,
though.
it's so
look
good.
They look really cool.
I've got it on my laptop. Too bad we're recording a podcast here.
Yeah, right.
That'd be a bit of a
Afterwards,
faux
the
pas.
three of us are all going to sit and watch Tangled. Is that
We'll
the
have to
kind of guys we are?
I have to apologise. Sorry to listen to the Talk Play podcast, but we're watching Tango for the next 2 hours. Please bear with us.
Ooh,
Colours.
pretty.
But if they put out a thing for Tango, which they will do, and they put out one for that new film Frozen, which I believe is based on the Snow Queen tale. It's got
I know that one.
Kirsten Bell in it, who's a nice lady.
Oh, okay.
She's a nice lady.
I like nice
And
ladies.
they probably will bring out all the classic Disney characters because they're not dead. I mean, if you go into the Disney shops, all you see is the princess and stuff. But I think, I hadn't really considered that. I guess what the kids think of now as Disney is what's currently on. But I guess it will release packs. But
You'll get like a dwarf pack. You'll get an Aladdin pack. You'll get the gargoyles from Quasimodo.
yeah,
You'll get all these. You'll get Timon and Pumbaa. You'll get all these packs.
Yeah,
movies,
all
and
the masterful ones.
It'll be like series, like collectible cards or all the Skylanders stuff. They'll come out in series and just be like, oh my god, now I'm gonna get the whole set of the next series.
I just hope that they do like level packs as well, because obviously they've got these 4 or 5 series already, and they're doing levels for it.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping is there is free downloads for these extra level. Like if you get like a Timon and Pumbaa thing, I get the Lion King level.
Yeah, that makes
I get
sense.
access to the Lion King level because I've spent the money to get Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
It'll be in the update, but because you get Timon and Pumbaa, you get to have that level.
Yeah.
I understand that kind of
That's fair
thinking in
enough.
terms of unlocking stuff. That seems fair to me.
You kind of got that.
Fair
You
in
kind
the
of got that with
sense
Little
that
Big Planet,
I've forked
didn't
out the money for it. Not fair in the sense that the content's already there, because we've been through enough of that with Capcom going, oh, we've got these characters on this fighting game on here already, but we're only doing the unlock if you pay the money.
you? No, that makes sense. I mean, they did it with Little Big Planet, where like they brought out the Metal Gear Solid 4 skins for the thing, and then you could get all the Metal Gear Solid looking tools and things. So, yeah, that could totally work.
They should totally do it like that.
the only time I can see myself being in any way interested in Disney Infinity is you think about the possibilities. If you've got the toy box, you built a load of really cool stuff, and then you've got some of the bit more out there Disney properties, like you can have a game where I'm playing with my mates and you've got someone playing someone from The Incredibles, I don't know, I've never seen it, and then you've got someone playing Luke Skywalker and you've got someone playing Thor, all in the same game. That's interesting.
I think
to
the
me.
problem
That'd be the sequel. That would be the sequel.
I think the problem they'd have if they did the Marvel stuff, they'd do like, I don't know if you've seen like the kiddie Marvel things.
Yeah, like the big blockhead type ones.
Yeah, it would be like that,
Yeah.
which I would rather not play as for at all than play as like a blockhead for.
If you was given a choice, no foreplays. Thank you. But yeah,
No foreplay. No
so
foreplay.
we're not all in for that. That's fair enough. But we have
I
recognised.
I understand.
We get it.
How,
I got a shitload of Skylanders. I don't need any more
Yeah.
any more models taken up my house.
Be like, no, I'm drowning in the bastards. The rest of the releases, apart from Rayman Legends, which I'm getting, because that's
Rayman, the last Rayman was really good.
oh, it's so good. It's got a multiplayer football thing. It's going to be amazing. Like you
Okay.
get like a flat level, little dink, and there's like 2 goals.
Okay.
He's mapping this out with his hands for those of us who aren't watching him right now.
I totally understand what he's talking about though, because I can look
All you
at
have to do is just gum, ba-bum, ba-bum, da-jum-gum-gum. That's the sound effects. And you can piece it together from your mind. The two-handed
like sonar.
But what I'm trying to say here is, we got the 2 goals, and you got, can't think off the top of my head, but it's 6 players, 3 on each side. Essentially, all it is the controls haven't changed. It's still jump and kick, and you go the jump, kick buttons or whatever, and it's just the same as it is in the game, except there's a ball bounced around, and you got to just sort of whack that over into the other person's goal to get goals, and it's just like a football game. It's for 3 minutes, and it looks so much fun. The physics in it is like what? It's flying all over the place, and the ball is just doing that cartoony thing. It's amazing.
Previous Rayman game, you could beat the holy hell out of each other, couldn't you?
Oh yeah.
You know, even though it was a cooperative game, you could slap the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I played it around a friend of mine's house, and that's pretty much all we did. Every time you'd like be lining up for one in a big jump that you got to run towards or something, you go to do it, they just slap you as you ran past.
We can't play Little Big Planet without ending up just
No, it
completely
is-
destroying each other's.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's a lot easier to do on Rayman. It was a lot funnier as well. To be fair, just whacking the holy shit out of each other.
beating the shit out of each other. But that looks so fun, and the game looks so fun, and the musical levels are amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be... that's a win for me. That's a win. And the same for Wonderful 101. That's out on the Wii as well. I'm very big on the Wii at the minute.
He's getting excited because he's waited so long.
I've waited long. I've invested. And now it's all coming up Wii U.
I like that you're talking about Wii U games that are coming out with such passion.
I need to.
Me and Fox's eyes are just starting to glaze. What's he talking about?
What? Who?
No. What's he talking? What game is this?
Fine. I'll give you a game that you might want to play. Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I can see the sarcasm in Fox's eyes. It's like, yeah, sure.
Never really played any of the Splinter Cells. I don't know if they're any good.
The previous Splinter Cell, I didn't enjoy the others because the learning curve on them was like too severe. But the last one was a lot of fun. The marking thing.
Yeah.
You could, I don't know if you saw any of it. You'd be like hanging from like a ledge or like a windowsill is a better example. And you could look in the room and you could see there were like 3 guys in there. And your gun has the ability to mark those people. You press the trigger and you just pop up, bam, 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 dead.
Awesome.
And they're all perfect headshots. You can go and look at the corpses and it's like dead centre forehead. Oh, that's awesome. And then it had a really cool co-op thing. So you'd be going into like a reactor room or something. One of you would be like hanging out the side of a tunnel. The other one would be hanging from the rafters above. And it's like, oh, okay, I've marked these guys. And then you as the player can see that your partner has marked these people. Oh, well, I can get line of sight on these guys. Right, execute. It syncs it up, and all of a sudden you've cleared a room of 7 enemies or whatever. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, that felt really cool. I mean, it takes a bit of time to set up, and you know you can't run into a room and go gung ho. But that's not the point of the game anyway. But that was really cool, and if they can bring that into this next one,
it sounds good. But Splinter Cell to me has always been a poor man's Metal Gear.
Totally.
Yes.
It is a poor man's Metal Gear. I'm sorry to say that. It does look good and there's different styles of play and everything like that. But Metal Gear doesn't need to give you the gimmick of you've got different styles of play. Metal Gear gives you the tools and you go off. And then you're away.
But you don't really need to think about the Splinter Cell stuff. The story isn't so
Oh no, it's
intricate.
daft, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, it's
there's a
nothing.
blacklist of people you've got to go hunt down. Is that it? Yeah, just do it.
Like Hitman. But I really enjoyed the last one. I thought it was a lot of fun. Not so much the story thing, but as you both know, I'm more of a co-op player than I am a campaign sort of gamer. And for the multiplayer, the amount of fun I had, and also you start off with the 2 separate factions. One's an American Navy SEAL, the other one's the Russian equivalent. And you start off when you pick each other up when someone's been shot, when you revive each other, they start off, yeah, you better remember who picked you up sort of thing. You get towards the end of the co-op, it's like, I got your back, man. Yeah, cool. It had a really good, it just had a really good vibe to it, really fun. Yeah.
There we go. It was really fun, yeah.
Really fun, yeah.
I think the only thing I really want to brush over very briefly was the Bureau XCOM Declassified, which none of us really know too much about. None of us are really interested in getting. All I can say is the original XCOM Enemy Unknown on the PC, the actual RTS strategy one, not this one, which is a third-person shooter one. Fucking ace, just get that. Okay, because this one's going to be average at best. It looks fine, fair enough, but it doesn't look. It's not nearly as good as that because there is a level of tacticalness that you reach in XCOM. It is so rewarding when your dudes stay alive and stay together. And
I don't think I know this game at all, but I think you have spoken to me about this game. It sounded really interesting.
It's like an RTS. You have a squad of men, and you've got to go fight aliens. Essentially, you land down in an area. You pick a bloke, you move them forward, and you sort of set them out. The aliens come at you, but the aliens are always like super powered guys. They're like got highly advanced technology. They're much better at you, much better shot than you, all the rest of it. But you've got control, and the idea is you set yourself up, and it's all about. It's kind of like a numbers game and trying to plan out tactics. Do I use smoke grenades to give some cover? Do I try and position myself to try and shoot them better? It's got a lot of deep tactical nuances to it.
Sounds like I'm playing Orcs in 40k, to be honest.
I was going to say, sounds like playing Warhammer against the Tau or the Necrons. It's like, going to get shot to pieces here. However, if I think about what I'm doing, I might actually have a chance.
Well, that's it. It's just thinking about what you're doing, and it's it's a game that's so rewarding and engrossing. And when someone in your squad dies and they are dead. They aren't coming back. You get a wall of dead men. They are dead. And it's just like, no, he's killed 50 aliens. Why is he dead? Why are you, rookie, who's killed 2 aliens and I'm just brought into the squad, still alive?
God damn it!
You're not good as him.
God damn it, Steve!
Oh, you can name them as well.
Oh, I couldn't, because I'll get attached and I'll be like, oh no.
Not Gregory.
I couldn't look friends in the face again. I couldn't be looking at like Cowboy and go, shit, man. What's up, Naz? You just died at XCOM. It was horrible. You got shot in the face. Some big ripply bastard took you, turned you into a zombie. Yeah, that's basically all I want to say about that. Killer is dead. I suppose we could talk about the controversy surrounding the pervy picking up women mode. I don't care. It feels unnecessary. It is unnecessary. There's a mode. It's like bitch hunt or whatever. I don't know. There is no feminist way to describe this mode. You essentially go into a bar. You're given a target. She's referred to as a target. You hunt her down, and you start alongside her. And the idea is you've got to look at her breasts and special area without her noticing.
Her foofy,
whatever. You got to look at those areas without her noticing. By the way, this is done by the same guy who did Lollipop Chainsaw, Killer 7.
Oh, the Suda 51 guy?
Suda 51.
Well, that's it. Again, maybe it's more of a thing that's kind of okay in Japan because they don't really have the whole sexist movement. But I mean, that, as a person from the West, that doesn't sound right to me at all. That just sounds a little bit off.
I would play it, and then my girlfriend would come in and it's like, what are you playing? Nothing?
Yeah, it's like poor
Halo.
embarrassment.
I'm playing Halo. Everything's fine.
It sounds like a cheap game you'd see on
Halo preload on the other console.
It sounds like a cheap Flash game you'd play on Newgrounds. It doesn't sound like a game that would have proper financial backing and investment.
Yeah, you couldn't imagine the Western company going, oh we'll promote that.
But then you get like your special X-ray specs on, and you got to do the same again. And you got to buy her shit and really patronising shit like flowers and chocolate, and you can give money.
Still sounds better than Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball.
Yeah,
so,
low bar.
So you're going to a bar. So
you go to a bar, ogle a woman, potentially give her money, take her back to your bed, and in the morning when you get up after the 2 snakes have entwined, she'll give you a gift. And then that's a mini game.
She gives you a gift? Like what kind of gift?
Your health bar's restored.
Like, no, I was going to say like, I'm a bit itchy.
Oh God Almighty! That's it. It's just
that sounds horrific.
It's not where these scabs come from.
It sounds horrific. It doesn't have any airtime, and that's it.
I bet it's fucking funny though.
Probably, most likely. But yeah. We're done with that section. What's coming up next is, of course, what we've been up to. So, stick around for that. Welcome back then. We're rolling into our section of what we've been up to. So, Cowboy, take it away.
Gaming wise, it's been pure Arkham City. I've been trying really hard to do all the campaign challenges and just the general Riddler challenges. They're so hard. And it frustrates me when I look for tips on the internet and I see people that are so good at playing it that it makes me just turn it off. And then I think about it for a little while and think, maybe I can do it, and then I can't.
Wait, just sort of give up? I just give up on my dreams of being Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
go away.
I get to thinking that maybe I could be Batman. Maybe this
the dream will not die.
Maybe this is a viable career choice. And
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
It's a viable career choice.
But no, it turns out that it's not. So yeah, that's what I've been doing gaming wise. TV wise, been watching Breaking Bad. That's been very good.
Yes.
Coming up to the end of the second series on that, so that's been fun. I haven't watched any films lately, I must admit. And I went on holiday lately. I went to Pontins with my girlfriend and my little one, and that was okay.
It was okay. Pontins, yeah. It's the land of
it's the land of dreams, sort of.
It's land of milk and honey.
Yeah, bit sad to find out that you don't get games in arcades anymore. You get like multiplayer racing games like you always do.
Yeah.
But generally, you might get a copy or two of House of the Dead, but there are no more beat 'em ups or.
Oh,
or
I can't remember the last time I saw a Tekken arcade machine. Been a while.
I want one.
last time I saw a Tekken arcade machine was about a year and a half. It was actually a year and a half before Tekken 4 got released over here. But they in Blackpool they had a Tekken 4, and I was like, oh my god, Tekken 4, it looks so good! And I played the shit out of it. I must have spent like 40 quid in this arcade. And then it came out and I bought it, and I didn't really play it that much.
It's a shame because I thought it was one of the nicer at the time next gen titles. It certainly played really well and looked really well.
I think it was the last good Tekken game.
Yeah, they had a Tekken 3 arcade cabinet at Laser Quest where we went for Stag Do, but one of the joysticks was knackered on it. So player 1 could move fine, player 2 could only walk backwards. Rory still beat me, even though he could only move backwards. Still.
Oh well.
Yeah, that was a bit sad. It's just grabber. I won a Batman and a Superman teddy for my kid, which are quite cutesy looking and quite amusing.
Any quote unquote celebrities entertaining?
Oh,
any dead people? Any people we're supposed to think, we used to know them a couple of years ago?
The Risk played at Pontins.
Who the fuck were they?
They were on the X Factor.
Which one?
They were fantastic.
They were fantastic.
They blew my socks off.
Because you were wearing 2 pairs of socks at the time.
I was wearing 2 pairs of socks, and it was getting a bit warm, and they come out and did the fine job of blowing them off. They were awesome. Yeah. And there were lots of people that they build as like famous people.
Come to the stage, it's Kenny Loggins.
It's like, oh, okay, Kenny Loggins. Who's he? He's a singer. Anything I know?
No, not that Kenny Loggins. Kenny Loggins, the ventriloquist.
Oh, that one. Oh, okay. Anything I might have heard of? No. Oh. Why don't you just say it's a fucking... Oh, yeah.
Just a twat in a shiny suit. That's all he is.
Coming up next, a twat in a shiny suit.
I went to Butlins once and they had Otis the Aardvark as a special guest.
That's wicked, that is.
Yeah, from was he BBC or something, like the BBC Kids show, like mid to late 90s, Otis the Aardvark.
Oh, Jesus.
That's strange. It's strange because it's like...
It's strange that you've been to Butlins.
Hey, Butlins.
It's so low-key for you because you, travel all over the world.
I'm a traveller.
You are a traveller.
Not a gypsy, but...
Not a gypsy. I mean, you're Spain, Italy, Mexico.
Africa.
Japan.
Just saying. Not bragging. I've been there.
Humble brag.
I nearly accidentally drove to Scotland once.
How did you nearly accidentally drive to Scotland?
Went the wrong way on the M5.
Fucking hell. How far? How far did you get before you read some of the signs and went, fucking hell, Dunkirk?
It's pretty far.
Well, we drove to fucking Edinburgh the one year for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. We were doing a show in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Oh, it's not a fun drive.
No,
it was a hell of a drive.
I didn't really...
That entire drive's to warn you not to go up north.
I was DJing the whole time, spinning the wheels of steel.
What have you been up to then, folks?
Not a great deal, to be honest. Work has been a real bitch lately, so I haven't had much time to myself.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Played some Frisbee last week.
Oh, of course we all played Frisbee. That was fun.
I'm a bit of a Frisbee enthusiast, and I want to start up an Ultimate Frisbee tournament, but I don't know 10 people that are willing to play. So
I also don't know the rules of Ultimate Frisbee. I know to check the Frisbee about.
It's pretty much like American football, except you can't move when you're holding the Frisbee, and the idea is to get it into the end zone. Like there's an attacking team and a defending team, and you've got to pass it downfield, but you can't move when you've got it, so you've got to pass it to someone further downfield.
My casual version of Frisbee. Catch!
Yeah, so basically what we do is we stand in a circle, we throw a Frisbee about. However, it was wicked good fun, so I enjoyed that. I've been playing Hitman, the new one, Hitman Absolution, trying to get all the challenges completed on that.
You're mad for Hitman,
Yeah.
That is so cheap at the moment in CEX. It's
I really recommend it, man.
It's like £6.
Yeah, I really recommend it if you can get your hands on a copy, because I'm really into the whole kind of sneaking stealthy around and doing a bit of a completionist, getting all the challenges and stuff, so I've been playing a lot of that. Not really watched any films or anything, I don't think.
Yeah, sure you did. There was one in the cinema. Took your lady along to it.
Despicable Me. Didn't I talk about this in the last show? Or was that?
No.
Watch Despicable Me.
That was last week.
Loved that. Loved Despicable Me. I loved the first one. Awesome. Anything with supervillains in, I'm all about that. So enjoyed that. And mostly just been watching Judge Judy.
And painting your marine thingamajig.
Yeah, painting my Warhammer, but I'm not getting very far on that. My Nurgle army is still mostly just sprayed black.
This is going to be the massive section because I've been participating in the Steam sale, which we didn't bring up in the news because it's already happened, and I was going to bring it up here anyway. But I bought all the games on Steam. There are no more games to buy on Steam. I am so sorry.
You've bought them all.
Do you know what? I'm going to get the list up now, wherever I've left
I think I saw an article on the newspaper this morning, The Guardian. Bastard steals all games on Steam. Gamers left with nothing to do. So that was you, was it?
There was a picture of a kid just crying.
Oh, God,
Some small boy.
Oh, God. I feel really bad now. I won't bring up the list because it's too long and stuff, but I will tell you the things that have impressed me with that. Evoland, really, really nice. Kind of like an evolution of the RPG genre. So you start off like Game Boy colours and it's all monochromatic. And then you keep opening chests up, which add more elements to it.
Oh, okay.
So you get colour, and then you get sound, and then you get the ability to attack, and this, that, and the other. It's
cool.
kind of like RPG The History.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like the idea of that.
Cheapy title, and it was one of those things I thought, yeah, that's worth dipping because it's down to 75%, so it's about £4.
Fucking love the Steam sale, man.
It was ace. It was like I spent all the money. All the money's been spent now. But
yeah, that was on the next page.
Yeah, bankers in crisis. And Steam now have 100% of the world's capital.
And there was still the same picture of the same little boy crying, but just in a slightly different pose.
different angle.
And his pockets were inside out, like. And there's a broken piggy bank on the floor.
Oh God, the broken dreams of the young. Yeah, there was that, and there was a couple of other things. Rogue Legacy, amazing Rogue. I'm going to have to get it out at some point. Have it, one of you guys play it before we start the podcast up again, because it's really, really nice. Great little platformer, hard as balls, but really rewarding.
That's why I like them. Not balls, difficulty.
And you know what? The Wii's got a bit of a hammering lately. Mostly the Wii U, I should say. I say Wii because I've been playing Wii games on it. I've been playing
because there aren't any Wii U games.
There's Pikmin 3.
There's hardly any Wii games, let alone Wii U games.
Pikmin 3 came out, so I had a good bash on that, and it's really good, really tactical. A lot harder than what you can give it credit for the visuals. The visuals look like, it's a kid's adventure, and it's fucking hard as balls, and it's devastating every time you lose about 40 Pikmin trying to take down one thing. It's like, Jesus, why? I'm going to carry 100 at a time into battle. Fuck! It's just devastating. So there's that, and I've been playing the best RPG to ever elude me in the history of the world, particularly in this generation, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay.
Which is amazing. I played it last night. I had made sure I text everybody, say, do you want to do anything tonight? Are you online tonight? No. Brilliant. Phone aside. Right, got the controller out, because I got the classic controller with it. I played this game, and it was from 8 o'clock till 5 in the morning I played. I haven't done that in years.
You know you're onto a good game when you've done that.
Do you know what? Most of it was me twatting about in the towns. There aren't too many towns, but the big selling point of this is the fact that there are named NPCs in the towns. And you got your RPG mechanics, you fight and stuff like that, and that's all ace. It's got kick-ass music, which is like 2 tenants already. Kick-ass characters you can play as, and amazing music. That's 2 tenants of the RPG already.
Yeah, you got it.
And these characters are all named, these NPCs, but they've all got relationships with each other.
Okay.
And so when you start off, you're just talking to people, and you're just going, name characters, have relationships, and this, that, and the other. Okay, cool. And you just get, the way it's set out, is you got circles, and they got the character name in, and you highlight them in stats, so it's like, race, how old they are, a little factoid about them, and this, that, and the other. And then you start unlocking the relationships with them based on missions you do for people and just generally talking to people. Like you'll talk to somebody once and they'll say, oh, I like the sun, it's lovely and bright and whatever. And it's like, okay, fair enough. And then you talk to them again, maybe just right after or after you've done a quest or whatever, and they go, oh, Betty likes that Kenny Loggins guy. And it's just like, oh, what? And then the connection appears. And you can see it on the screen. It's like there's 2 circles for the 2 characters.
Gossip the game.
It's Gossip the game. It's amazing.
I like that there's been that much thought put into it, because it's like a little town would be like that.
Yeah. That's it. And
As we learned from Dungeons and Dragons the other day.
There was a lot of mystery and intrigue.
Those 6 people, they knew each other, and they were all. It got a little hot fuzz. There was a.
Got a
So, like,
Every man in his mum's armed round here. Like who? Farmers. Who else? Farmers' mums.
Sorry, carry on, yeah.
It's alright. It's brilliant, really, for that reason. It's just the idea of you've got these characters, they're all connecting up, and you can improve their relationships, or not improve them, if you decide to go in different directions.
You wouldn't be that guy though, would you?
I did do a little bit of that.
Oh.
Mrs. Jones says you look well gay.
But no, it's brilliant, and the battling's brilliant, and the characters are on him, but brilliant, and it's made me cry already. 2 hours into the game, it made me cry. But that's basically preparation for the new X game that they're doing for the Wii U, which is going to be ace because it's got dinosaurs and fucking robots that turn into cars.
Nice.
It's like, yes, it's an amazing
Nice.
game.
I like the idea of that. That
Fucking
sounds.
fighting things with robot cars.
That sounds almost as good as the X-Ray Specs game.
Killer is dead. I'm certain there's more to Killer is dead, but that's the one thing that they were talking about in the mini game. But yeah, other than that, I've been watching the 3rd season of Luther.
That's supposed to be really grim.
The inflection on that was a bit weird. Now, you're watching the 3rd season of Luther, the TV series about Luther, or did you say you've been watching Luther, like you've just been in the shower scrubbing your back?
It's almost like you've been watching Luther, to be honest with you. It's sort of like, it's like killers and rapists and all sorts of like grim crimes he goes after. But it's never, the series is never going like, I build up in my head like a Metal Gear game. It's like, oh, there's going to be mystery and intrigue and all sorts. And it never turns out that way. It's very straight-laced.
I see. Hannibal's like that.
Yeah.
If you watch Hannibal, there was one. I know you haven't got that far into it, but there was one where there was this big elaborate murder, and they were like, "Oh, I wonder what happened here." Oh, some of these bodies have been dead since the 70s. Oh, was anyone questioned about the disappearance in the 70s? It's like, oh yeah, this guy. So then they go around to the guy's house, and he's like, "Yeah, I did it."
It's like the Rhineback Falls episode of Sherlock in season 2. There's this big elaborate mystery that Sherlock solved when he's trying to stop Moriarty and whatever, and they have a conversation on the roof. It's just like saying, no, it's not that complicated. There's not codes and stuff. I just paid people off. That's all I did. And it was that simple. It's just because Sherlock needs that ability to solve a mystery. And that was what it was like for me. I was trying to make a mystery that wasn't really there.
Yeah.
So I think that's nicely rounded off what we've all been doing. Next up is a feature I'm very afraid about. It's going to be the game pitches, so stick around for that. Hello friends and welcome back. This is our brand new feature, game pitches. Well, this is where one of the team will come up with an idea for a game and then they'll pitch it to us. We'll give them a bit of space, let them do the pitch, and then the other 2 members will come in and embellish upon it, and we'll see how far we can run with this idea. So it's going to be really interesting, and I'm a little bit scared, but I have been reassured it's going to be a really marketable game. So hopefully it's not a game about...
I'd buy it.
You buy it? You're making it.
Put Cowboy's face on the cover, I'll buy it.
You buy it with a Cowboy's face on this.
That's where I got this lovely tattoo.
Oh my.
Oh dear Lord. Right, so as you can probably tell, it is Cowboy's pitch.
Hello.
So run away with it.
Okay, basically, I'd like to explain the thought process behind this. I agreed to do the pitch in a joint communication we have on the social media website.
Nice and generic.
Yeah, nice and generic. And I was a little bit shit-faced when I agreed to it. And when I read it back the next day, I thought, actually, that's really difficult. I wish I hadn't volunteered for that. So I was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. So I was racking my brains trying really hard to think of an original game. And to be honest, I think most stuff has been done. There isn't like perfect one with X-ray specs. I think most games have been done. But so I started thinking about games I really enjoy and things and how to improve stuff. Like the best remake of films, in my opinion, is when they take a really shit film with an okay idea and make it into a decent film. Like John Carpenter's The Thing was excellent. The original is meh. This is my thought process. I was thinking about the sort of games I enjoy in a sandbox.
Oh, yeah.
Always, everyone enjoys a good sandbox game. And I really like the superhero sort of genre. So let's think about a superhero sandbox game. Okay, so they've had Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
It was alright.
That was good. Really good.
So I started thinking about crap games. And my first thought was, for the N64,
No.
Superman.
Oh my days.
So I started thinking, how could you make a good Superman game? Because they're notoriously, Superman does not make good games.
Name one.
To be fair, I looked into it a little bit, and there's a game for the Atari. I think it's called Superman 64, which is quite deceiving because it makes you think of Nintendo 64, but that's only really Superman. But it's an Atari game, and it looked okay for an Atari game. It's actually pretty good for an Atari game. Yeah, it's pretty good block. But generally, yeah, Superman does make good games, unless he's in someone else's game, like Lego Batman or the new Injustice game. And I was trying to figure the problems that Superman has, and it's the fact that he's almost too good to be in a game. It doesn't make sense that Superman can be beaten in a fight by thugs.
So you've got a game where you're a character who can't be stopped, and therefore there's no challenge, so there's no fun.
Exactly. So how do you get around this? And I thought, well, one of Superman's biggest bad guys is obviously Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
So here's my pitch. Sandbox Superman game. Everything is destructible. It's easily done on the next gen. You could have a metropolis that's fully destructible. If they can map America, they can make a city that most buildings go into.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
When they talk about the scale of the Dead Rising game, it's huge. So yeah, it's got to be feasible. The overall story is that Lex Luthor is running for presidency, and he is trying to campaign against Superman.
Is Superman running?
Superman? No, he's trying to get Superman stopped. He wants people to be anti-Superman.
Okay.
That's his campaign for him, because he notoriously doesn't like Superman.
Okay, yeah.
So you get given missions to do. Bizarros appeared. Maybe it could be in the story that Lex Luthor set this up. You've got to go stop Bizarro. Now this could be quite easy to do. You could go and you could have a proper good slugfest against him, beat the crap out of each other, Man of Steel style, and bring the city down around you. But that's not going to make you very popular, and they're actually helping Lex Luthor. So the idea of the game is to defeat these bad guys. I thought about what you said about Superman being an adult amongst children.
Yeah.
You could fly through and stop a bank robbery, smash the ship, blow them up. Or you could try and beat them in a stylish and non-destructive way and get almost Paragon points.
Yeah, like the karma system from Fallout.
Yeah.
You got to keep people happy as well as doing your thing.
So you're almost invulnerable. I mean, you can have bad guys that have kryptonite that weaken you and things, and maybe if you're constantly taking the most direct route, like you could get there in seconds, but you'd be going through buildings. You get into the place and you destroy the bank robbers, and Lex Luthor gets further in his campaign, and maybe the police start seeing you as a threat and start carrying Kryptonian weapons. Because Star Labs is, in the canon of it, Star Labs is ready for Superman to go bad. So if the government decide that he's a threat, they're ready to deal with Kryptonians.
Call him Batman, who's got all his contingency plans.
Yeah.
Yep. That's basically the idea. So the idea is that even though Lex Luthor is a bad guy, that you could technically get to wherever he is and pull his head off, like it was a grape.
Yeah.
You've got to try and beat him by being an actual hero.
Yeah.
You've got to be responsible with the unlimited powers that you already start off with the game with. And maybe you could get the odd occasion where you end up on another planet and you can go to town and it doesn't feel so restrictive all the time. Or you could unlock a mode where you can do what you want and there's no consequences. But the actual story mode building up to it and the side quests coming off it, you've got to be a little bit careful. You can fly to where you want to go, but you've got to go fly around the buildings. And that's the pitch.
Okay. Will this game have multiple endings? Based on the idea that you are like a good ending, a mediocre ending, and a bad ending.
Yeah.
Or is there like extremes on top of those as well? Like a super good or a super bad?
I imagine there'd be a super good and a super bad, because obviously if Lex Luthor becomes president and the world, if you're a complete dick and you react to every situation, gung ho, yeah, you've leveled the city. No one wants to deal with you, and you're basically seen as the supervillain.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe if it's open-ended, you can carry on playing afterwards. The game is just, like, pans out that way. Kind of like the game they did for the PlayStation 3.
Oh, Superman Returns and...
No, it was a game you had electric powers and shit like that.
Oh, Infamous.
Sort of like Infamous. It has that it has that polar opposite endings.
Yeah.
Where the world is a nasty place because you haven't helped anyone, or the world is almost utopia.
Yeah.
But you'd still be having the random events to make it worthwhile carrying on playing the game.
I'll have a crack at that. I'll probably wait till it came down in price.
Gosh! I'll tell you what will make that game more interesting to me. Because obviously Superman, like you say, he has unlimited powers. Instead of just having one thing going on, there's two. Or maybe 3 or 4. Because he's so fast and so strong or whatever.
Yeah, deal with
the idea isn't so much...
Choose which things you want to help out with.
Choose which things.
Yeah.
And you probably have enough time to do maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I like
unless
the idea
you're
of that,
really quick, you can't do it all. Unless you've got, and obviously you can level up your skills. I don't know, sun points or whatever you want to call them, whatever works in Superman's world in terms of leveling up.
Yeah,
you can use that, and you can get faster and blah blah blah.
But that'd be really cool because the in-game consequence is like, oh, okay, I got super hearing. I can hear over there to the left there's a bank being robbed, but I can hear over to the right
there's a helicopter crashing.
Yeah, and I've got time to go over here and do this one, and. In the story, this woman was really important. She was going to do something. She was going to try and assassinate Lex Luthor or something. But you let her die, and that's going to change what happens then. Or if you don't do that, you save the helicopter. The helicopter crashes into a school, and everyone blames you for not helping.
Yeah, it's making you choose what kind of hero you are.
Yeah.
Can you be the hero that this city needs?
Yeah, do you play it like an anti-villain? You're stopping crime and corruption or whatever by any means necessary, or do you try and do as much as you can? That's sort of the idea.
That's always a hard line to travel because the Superman is so clean cut and whatever. I'm certainly would work with other heroes, but I think because Superman is so clean cut and whatever, it might draw up a bit of controversy from fans. But I do like it as an idea.
Well, that's their problem though, because they've got to.
But they're the ones you're marketing it towards.
Yeah, and they're the
people
ones
who
that are
like
playing
Superman.
it. They can't make a decision in the game and then say, but I don't like the way Superman made that decision. You're playing Superman.
I think Superman would have been fast enough to save all these people.
You could remove that problem entirely by... I know the whole point was trying to make a good Superman game, but you could have at the start a build your own hero, almost like the DC Universe Online, where you got this many points to spend. Do you have a guy who's super fast? Do you have a guy who can fly? Do you have a guy who's got psychic powers? Do you have a guy who's got shoots fireballs or whatever? And each of those can have direct consequences on how the game's played. That'll make you want to play it several times over to see all the different endings.
Yeah, that could totally work.
It'd be a hell of a way to map out, and like maybe 3 or 4 years ago you think, oh, that's going to be way too complicated to try and sort out, but once you see what they do in like Dragon Age or Mass Effect, where there's like millions of different branches of how the story can go, then I think that's entirely feasible.
Yeah, like I said, that's what interests me most about that, is that with any game, it's about the level of choice you can get and the level of consequence. I think
there would need to be consequences to the actions that you take in game, and like not everything would have like a major thing, but you know, like you couldn't play like the entire game being really nasty and then all of a sudden you go and have the climactic end fight and make the right choice then and everything being okay.
Yeah.
The whole world's got so pissed off with you. You've destroyed our city, murdered most of the people. The city over from, or the government nukes the fucking town that you're in. Bad ending. You die. You've got nuked because you were such a twat.
Yeah, they dropped a Kryptonian nuclear bomb.
I play that game. I play that game.
Balls.
And Superman dies. The end.
The only person who's wanted to play that game is Lex Luthor. I can finally kill him.
It's produced by Luthor Industries.
Lex Corp.
No, I like it. I think it's a really interesting idea.
Yeah, I'd play that game. I'd play that game. I'd totally play the game.
Absolutely. No, it's a really impressive pitch. I really enjoyed that. Really good. I'm looking forward to whoever I may choose next. Thank you once again for the pitch, and I think we've got time for one more section. We'll be back in a minute. Stick with us. Alright friends, welcome back to our final section, My Favourite Game. This is where one of the team will talk about a game that's been really influential to them, or they've had a lot of fun with, or just something generally that's sort of resonated with them. Today, Fox is going to be talking about Disgaea. Any particular Disgaea, or just the whole series as a whole?
I think just in general, I've sunk more hours into that game than anything ever, I think.
Would you explain the basic concept of the game?
I'll keep it brief because it is a really, really niche thing. It's a Japanese JRPG, tactical roleplay game. It's basically each battle's done on a grid, and each character can move a certain amount of spaces and can attack over a certain amount. But basically, people play it for the story. It's really, really wacky and really out there, and it's all done in sprites. It's really old school. I mean, the first one came out on the PS2. It was called Afternoon of Darkness or something like that. Either way, it's a great game. It's absorbing for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and the level cap is just ridiculous on it. And people have racked up hundreds upon hundreds of hours, and I think the level cap on the first one was something like 9,999. Like it's intensely massive. I think the reason I've picked this is because it kind of shows what kind of games I'm into. Like, it's so niche. No one that I know has ever really heard of it. And it's developed by a bunch of guys called Nippon Ichi Software, and Nippon Ichi Software America are the guys who kind of brought it over to America and to Europe, which is how I managed to get my hands on it. I played the first three. They've pretty much remade all three for the Vita, which I'm now purchasing as I go along, just to start all over again, because I'm clearly a sucker for punishment. But the big thing is, in October they're releasing Disgaea D2, which is kind of like almost a sequel to the first game. It's a 10-year anniversary, and it's about $120, something like that. And I've ordered that directly from the guys at Nippon Ichi Software America. Should arrive with me in October and absorb another couple of 100 hours of my life.
Yeah, when you tell us that they've raised the level cap on that again?
I believe it's something now like 99 billion. It is something ridiculous. I can't imagine anyone's got enough time to want to grind levels that high.
It's going to be a game that people actually pass on to their children. Is it, like, we joked about it earlier.
Pass on save files.
It's going to be like, on my deathbed, I've got it to 70 million. It's up to you.
You must take the other 29 million.
Yeah.
Like
and it was passed down to my grandfather before
and
me.
His grandfather.
And his grandfather before him. Only you can hit the 6. Some poor kid's like, oh my god, we got to the point now where it's going to take my lifetime to gain a level.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. Like, it's more for the story than anything. It's got a great story. It's got really great characters. There's loads of in-jokes. It's proper Japanese humour. It's really wacky and really mad, and I love it. Absolutely, it just fucking sucks me in every time. And I start a new game, and I go, I'll just play this for a bit. 3 days later, I haven't slept, haven't eaten, but I've managed to grind up to like level 40. So wicked. No, I kid. I mean, it's yeah, I think out of all the most influential games recently, that's got to be one of my big ones.
Yeah. I mean, could you tell us if it's similar to any of the games that other people might have played? Obviously, the battle system is kind of like most tactical RPGs.
Yeah, it's kind of like Final Fantasy
that
Tactics,
isometric. Yeah,
it's all done on an isometric grid, and it's a bit kind of Pokemon-y in a way, because there's like loads of different monsters, and you can try and get them all. Once you've beaten them, you can collect them into your army and start using them, and yeah, it's got some interesting things that sort of set it apart from the others. It's got a thing called an item world, and every item you collect has 100 levels of randomly generated battle grid in it.
Yeah.
So you can go into an item, say I've got this very nice sword, I can go into it, fight down 100 levels that get harder and harder each level, but every level you get, it makes that item more powerful. So you can get the legendary items, grind them up to level 100 to make them 100 times more powerful than the legendary item.
That's quite interesting. It's almost like you're questing. You're questing to make your loot better.
Yeah.
And everything's random. Oh, that's cool.
So you get to a point where you've got a level 1 character, but you've got, say, 4 bits of level 100 equipment. You've got a legendary sword that's level 100 and a bunch of level 100 gear, and that level 1 character can go up against a level 70 character, twat it in one hit, and grow 40 levels in one go. And I think that's how people get to like level 99 billion or whatever. They get all this amazingly massive gear, find a boss who's like level fucking 60 or 70, blat it, and just like...
So it's a case of where you like most good old school RPGs really reward you for the work that you put in.
Yeah, it's just massively rewarding. When you walk away at the end of the night and you've got a character who's just gone up 130 levels in one grid or one map, it really feels awesome.
Tell us a little bit about the story, because you say that's a big part of it for you.
Oh, I can't even begin to go into the story. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's set in the underworld, isn't it?
It's set in the netherworld. It's never really explained, but there's one of loads of hundreds of different netherworlds, and the king of this particular netherworld has died, and his son's taken over, called Lahal, who's voiced by the person who does Rita Repugna from the Power Rangers.
Okay, right.
It's wicked.
Weird.
Wait a minute, his son's taken it. Okay, yeah, Japanese game.
Yeah. His son's taken over, trying to take over the netherworld, but he's been asleep for like 200 years for some reason. He just fell asleep, and then the king's vassal, like his servant called Etna, who's really the more of the main character because she's become this really famous, beloved character who shows up in all of Nipponichi's games now. She wakes him up, I think, by hitting him over the head with a mace and shooting him with a Gatling gun and stuff. Either way, she wakes him up, and he's been asleep 200 years, and his dad's died, and he reckons, obviously he thinks it's his right to become king of the netherworld, and there are all these other demons in the netherworld who are trying to take the throne for themselves, and basically just goes on a rampage, because he's so powerful that the main character you play, and he levels up a lot more quickly than the others. You just go through a point, you're just walking through the netherworld, killing all the other nobles, and just walking into palaces and taking all the stuff for yourself.
So once you complete the story, I mean, obviously a story can't carry on for like millions and millions of levels.
Yeah.
Surely you get to a point in the story. Do you have to start again? Is that what happens?
Yeah. The main story I think is about like 10 chapters long, and the end boss is usually only around about sort of level 150. So
only level 150.
So yeah, well, it's not like you have to get to level 99,000 or whatever to complete the game. You get sort of like as you go along, you generally level up high enough to when you get to the end, you can kill the last boss in inverted commas, and then when you restart the game, you carry on from your level. All of the main story, all those characters have leveled up as well. So when you start again, you're not having to fight level 1 monsters with level 200 characters.
Gotcha.
But there's loads and loads of stuff in the game that unlocks much higher level stuff. Like I was saying about the item world.
Yeah.
As you're going down in the item world, once you get to level 40 or 50, you're coming across monsters at level 7 or 800. And that's how you get really, really high levels. Then there's loads of hidden areas with hidden bosses from previous games. There's loads and loads of in-jokes in it, but you'll unlock a level that's got 6 monsters in it that are level 40,000, and your character's like level 40 or 50, and you've just got no chance of ever doing it until you go into the item world and grind and grind and grind and grind until you can beat this one particular map that's nothing to do with the story. It's just so you can say, fucking done that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Obviously a sucker for punishment.
yeah, it sounds well, yeah, absorbing, consuming.
If you say that's obviously it's a very hardcore game, but are there any alternatives to this kind of game that you could sort of point people towards in case the numbers might be a bit daunting, or anything sort of similar to it, or is it very unique in itself?
I've never seen anything quite like it, or at least I'm not aware of anything like it. I guess the closest thing you could find is there was a game actually on the PlayStation 1 called Puppet Seed, something like that. Puppet Seed. It was the same kind of thing. Like you built up monsters, and there was an isometric grid, and you give stuff like that. But I can't think of anything that's currently popular, or at least in the West, that's anything like that at all.
Yeah.
So I think we got very, very lucky that Nipponichi actually bothered to bring it over to Europe, because it's got such a cult following. Like once you know people who play it, they absolutely love it, but you just don't know anyone that actually plays it.
Well, yeah then. Thank you very much for sharing that. Been very, very interesting to hear about that.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to wrap it up there for today. Thank you all very much for listening to us today. It's been very interesting, very funny. We've enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed myself. I'll do it again.
Cowboy's enjoyed himself, as he always does. A couple of us on Twitter, in case you want to get in touch with us. I'm at Naz_Dragonheart. Of course, we've got Fox at HoboFox. Thank you all for your support on the YouTube channel. Hope you're enjoying the new Majora's Mask playthrough we're doing at the minute. Thank you very much once again, and we hope to catch you all again soon. Alright then. Cheers.
See ya.
Bye bye.